Okay, welcome everybody to the first show in February for the Local to Global series here on TEW 2020. As we continue on our local promotion here, or tiny promotion, here in Tasmania in the first show of February, SLW Saturday Wrestling. Just go over a few things before the show. Basically, I'm going to try 2 shows per month here, see how that works as far as losing money. Now, I know, if I remember reading forum posts correctly, that basically you're okay for the first year. You won't go actually bankrupt, but obviously you don't want to be $18 zillion in debt by the end of your first year. But just in case, I'll play around and see if this actually works, or maybe I might decide to take March off and then come back in April. It just all depends on some stuff. But anyway, let's go on with the show. We're in Tasmania. We're in Hobart, Tasmania again, as we have a nice hour of wrestling action. So let's get rolling. So we start out with Hack the Hunter making his debut, defeating Hank Greer in 6:02 by pinfall. Hank's man's man gimmick got a rating of adequate. So losses hurt his momentum more than usual, and he gets a small penalty to microphone skill. And if you noticed, we got no ding for our road agent, because it turns out our road agent is no good, and just throwing one of the random wrestlers in as road agent works much better. Anyway, this got a rating of 30, so good opener. Then we have Hack basically yelling Hack into the microphone and celebrating with the fans, so that gets us a 29. And then next up, we have another tag team match for the Surfers as Hang 10 Lucas Pope and Jesse Tasman defeat Lance Lott and Jonathan Wesker in 11:21 when Pope pins Wesker with the spinning angled slam. This gets a 30. Everybody does pretty good in the ring aside from Wesker, but he's a young, he's basically a newbie wrestler, so that's okay. With this, it's a 30. And then afterwards, basically the Surfers slap hands with the fans. That gets a 39 because Pope and Tasman are quite charismatic. Well, I wouldn't say quite charismatic, but they're charismatic enough for this level. Next up, we've got Mortable Pyle coming out, and he basically comes out. He says he's the star of the show here in Cellulite Wrestling, so it makes him upset that people think Black Flash is the #1 star just because he can do some flying moves. Don't forget, I'm Mortable Pyle. I was on TV. So this gets a 30, as basically we have the challenge for the next show. And then Rob Edwards defeats Reggie Hammer in 6:12 by submission. This gets a 22, mainly because Hammer isn't that good, and they didn't click, which is unfortunate. And then basically Sarah D comes out after Edwards' win, and she takes some notes, and Edwards, sort of poses for her, and then makes fun of wrestling again. It was terrible, so maybe he mumbles a bit, but then gets to his point of wrestling is terrible and I'm a real fighter. So this gets a 23. Then we have a Blaze and Dazzler in-ring match before their tag team main event, and this gets a 44 because Blaze gets to go crazy, Dazzler gets to be heel. So basically, they're just goofy heels who the fans want to see these cowboys take care of. And what happens is the Kipper and Lone Rider defeat Dazzler and Blaze Maxman in 14:19 when the Kipper pinned Dazzler with a lariat. This gets a 38. Everybody was pretty solid. Kipper was off his game. Kipper and Lone Rider showed excellent chemistry teaming together, so that's interesting. And our road agent, which was one of our other wrestlers, was really bad. So this gets a 38, and so we finish the show off. And so this gets a 38, which is probably our best show so far. In fact, I know it probably is. So let's give the Kipper, let's give Blaze Maximans on a good performance. Let's give Sarah D on a good performance. And let's give old Hang 10. Where is he? There we go. The speech. Everybody seems pleased. Let's go on to the next screen, just see if anything interesting as far as news happened, and also just see how the finance compared with our last month. Because again, the other thing I did was basically I got rid of my main announcer, I got rid of my road agent, and let's see how things go from here. Just out of curiosity, let's see how Clash Classic was. So, okay, pretty solid match there. interesting. But let's go to the show here. So let's go to finance. So in this case, we lost 1,500, which basically says we are already getting more sponsorships, so that's good. And so, okay, so show costs. Okay, so show costs were consistent. Production was about the same. Merchandise cost was about the same, and everything else. Like you notice, we're not. So actually, let me do one other thing, and that's the other thing I wanted to check out, which is merchandise. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to change my upgrade option to, well, let's go to normal, just because, there's no pain to basically do it. Let's see here. Okay. So that's it for the well, actually, let's check out our roster real quick. So we've got, reset. So perception, so we got some major stars, some stars. The only person that's unimportant so far is our Bro Agent, which is good. Momentum wise, we've got some of our younger guys that are cooled, so they probably need some comeback. And everybody who we've basically been pushing is doing pretty well. And storyline wise, our two storylines are still doing interesting. That it's not doing okay. That's weird. I'll have to look into that. But anyway, this gets 35, so this is still hot. As far as everything else, that's all for this. For this moment in time. So I'll be back in second with the other show for the month, and any other interesting news that decides to pop up. Okay, now time for show number 2 of the month, as we got another edition of Southern Lights Wrestling, Saturday Wrestling. Let me change it to Hobart. There we go. We're live. Yeah, we're live from some random parking lot or flea market in Hobart, as we've got another show to end the month of February. So let's get rolling. So we start the show with two basically of our designated jobber to the stars, because they're good workers but don't have much charisma. Lancelot defeating Francis Burke in 10:09 by pinfall with a twisting splash. This gets a 32. Lot get a 35. Burke gets a 33. So solid beginning. We have Armando Guerrero doing a promo, basically talking about how proud he is to be Mexican and how he wants to be a good wrestler for all the fans here. I mean, it's just pretty straightforward, thing. So this gets a 33. And then Armando Guerrero defeats Hank Greer in 7:39 by pinfall with a spinning elbow strike. This gets a 27. Armando gets a 31. Hank Greer gets a 22. Our Road Agent Black Flash, not the best, but Armando's was our Road Agent for the night. So unfortunately, sometimes that's what has to happen. Dazzler does an in-ring. Basically, he plays up his camp, heel gimmick. Talks about how basically does goofy and says, he's a fantastic wrestler, blah, blah, blah. Gets a 36. And then Dazzler defeats Jesse Tasman in 7:35 by pinfall with a dazzling neck swing, which I'm just imagining to be, Honky Tonk Man's old shake, rattle, and roll. So this gets a 33. Dazzler got a 38. Jesse Tasman got a 32, so solid match. And then Mortable Pyle, is doing his in-ring. Talks about how he's a true star. Black Flash is nobody, so it's a shame that he even has to fight some nobody in the main event. This gets a 26. Basically, Mortable Pyle was very poor. I'll try to improve dialogue. That's unfortunate. And then in the actual match, Mortable Pyle defeats Black Flash in 14:19 by pinfall after using a foreign object. So this is a 42, because Black Flash gets a 49. Mortable Pyle gets a 33. So really solid match to get Pyle over as a heel. And then Pyle celebrates. Basically, he slides out after getting the pinfall. He's celebrating, being arrogant to the fans. Black Flash is unhappy and does dive on top of him to end the show. And that gets us a 30. So again, this was in front of 29 people. So, we're improving bit by bit. This got a 38. So let's say Black Flash, thanks for jobbing. Dazzler, good performance. And Armando, good performance. No, actually, Lancelot, good performance. So yeah, we'll basically, yeah. Well, what we'll do real quick is we'll just go to the end of the month to see what our money looks like, and then probably make some decisions on what we're going to do from there. But yeah, I mean, solid stuff show. Let's see here, USP new team, Andrew Jones and Greg Black. Interesting. So we got no mail. USP red, white, and blue. Rich Money kept world title. That's not that interesting. Ollie hired Captain Lucha. Okay. Yeah, so let's go to the end of the month here, since it's Sunday. And we can actually go to March now, which is a positive. So let's go ahead, move that forward, and then, yeah, we'll check out a couple things, see if anything interesting happened in the news that I missed just because I was simulating it through, and then go from there. Alright, Brigade Occult. Okay, sure. Okay. Where's the score? Jesus Christ, that's a good match. Those are two good top matches. But anyway, back to R. So, first let's look at our size. So we're up to 3 popularity in Tasmania. There we go. Booyah. Black Flash is unhappy. Probably because he had a job, even though he's a lot more popular than everybody else. You know, that's unfortunate for him. Finance-wise. Okay, so this month we lost $2,500 compared to $3,500. We made about the same tech scales, but our sponsors went way up. Merch is about the same. Okay. So... Okay. So, I think since it seems like we're about losing the same amount no matter what, well, it's not the same amount, but I think what we'll do is, because, yeah, so doing 2 full shows, because, well, no, we did basically, so we did 1 full show, so basically, so I think what we'll do is we'll continue with the split shows for now, and then just see how that goes. Because, I mean, if we're earning popularity, eventually we'll be making enough to not be totally boned as far as, what's we're looking for, boned as far as money goes. And worst case, you know, I might, you know, if this, obviously I don't want this to end this early, so what I might do is, you know, have me apply for a loan and have that, you know, fix things at least for the moment. Creative-wise, let's see here. Okay, so franchise players, Black Flash, Jesse Tasman's number 2, Blaze Max is number 3, Armando's number 4, and Mortable is number 5. So that's kind of interesting. Next big things is Rob Edwards. Who's hot? Yep, all these guys. Who's not? These guys. Again, looking at our roster. If we look at the contracts, or not contracts, but perceptions. So yeah, we got some solid major stars here. The stars, and the only important people. Okay, so Siri D, so we'll have to push her again. So yeah, so basically the only people who we might want to like push to warm is maybe somebody like Dazzler or Lone Rider. Aside from that, like the other guys are like really young guys. And the other thing I'm going to do right now, because he's no good, is I'm sorry Keith, but let's see here. Oops, I forgot. Okay, let's see here. So can you not fire somebody from... Okay, I'll have to double check that and work on it later. Anyway, let's see if anything interesting happened in the news. So let's go to the news real quick. Let's keep it in February. So, in February... Let's see here. Company news. Okay. 5-star went up to small, and CL and QAW are working together, so that's nice. Let's see here. Little Bill Lebowski walked out on PCW. Okay. Some various people left WLW, and Narado leasing is actually pretty big. So he's okay. So he got okay. Wow. So he got signed by BHW. That's unfortunate for those guys. Anyway, worker retirements. Okay, that makes sense. He's old. Relationships. Let's see here. Okay, so new couple: Marianne and Calvin Adams, Maribel Machado and El Serpente. Decade champion and press phone got divorced. Okay. Omar got divorced. Simon Santel broke up. And Lisa Bowen and Bradley Blaze is a new couple. Alright, that's interesting. Let's see here. Random incidents. Nothing under that. And then, let's see here. Anything as far as broadcasting. Okay. They moved to a lesser time slot. Ooh, that's kind of bad for them. And then, yeah, that's about it for now. So, again, so the good thing is this continue because the beta's been moved. You can go through March. But basically, this is going to be it for now. Like I said, we'll go ahead and do 2 shows in March again, just because it looks like we're not losing a ton of money. And hopefully, as we go along, we can actually start earning some money and make it worth the money we're currently losing in the long run. Like I said, worst case scenario, I'll do some creative editing and, add some money to my, bank vault here at the end of things. But regardless, that's all for now. So if you're enjoying this, go ahead and give it a like, comment below, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more fun TEW 2020 and 2016 stuff. And that's all for now. So talk to you later. Adios.